So, Father Pizzuto, there's another common issue that comes up, and that is, how do you deal with distractions? And these distractions can take a variety of forms.
That's right.
So they can be memories that come up for us. They can be either positive or negative. They can be forms of emotions that come up for us, or just fixated on certain thoughts about maybe the future or the past that we might feel are intruding in our prayer. How do we deal with those distractions?
Yeah. Well, I think fundamentally meditation is the practice of learning what to do with distractions. That really is the human condition, that our brains have evolved to notice and to pay attention, and any kind of noise or anything from the distance, we're going to pick up on that. And distractions will emerge from past memories, from future anxieties, and so forth and so on. Right. So the fact that you feel distracted in meditation should not be seen in and of itself as at all a problem. It's quite normal. So in the practice, what we do is allow those distractions to rise up, to notice them, and to let them go. And there's lots of analogies we can think of. One that I particularly enjoyed is the idea of airplanes. I mean, all day long we hear airplanes flying overhead. We can't make them stop. They come and they go. Right. But the difference is we don't want to build an airport, right? So we don't want them landing. We don't want to give them space to just be. We just let them keep going. Right. Or, sticks and debris floating down a river. We learn not to jump in and get wet and soggy. We learn what it is to sit and to watch them go. One of the interesting pieces, sort of like as we talked about the notion of taking up the Bible and knowing when to put it down again, in some sense, there's something analogous here, because while we are often concerned about the thoughts that come into our minds, we often don't realize if we give it enough time, those same thoughts will leave our minds. We don't have to do anything, really. So if I said to you in that proverbial sense, you must not think of an elephant, we all know everybody immediately starts thinking of an elephant. Right. But we don't realize that if I say to you, you may not stop thinking about an elephant until you go to sleep tonight, how long would you actually be able to maintain a thought of an elephant? I mean, seconds or minutes before you would forget to remember, as it were, right? So one of the benefits, I think, to Lectio is, as a meditative practice, similar to the way a prayer word or phrase or a mantra would focus my attention during a sitting type meditation, what Lectio does is gives us words for our mind to go back to, a scenario to cling to, a story to hold on to, a proverb to meditate on, a verse from the Psalms to think about. And in some ways, the scripture can serve to help ground us or help us return from kind of wayward thoughts into something that would be more, again, opening us towards stillness and silence.
Yeah, so maybe even just going back and returning back to the Lectio movement, for instance, and rereading the text again might help us to let go of those distractions.
Absolutely, right. So again, when we do that Lectio, it isn't just for intellectual gratification. We're reading with the heart, and so we're noticing, we're engaging our imagination, we're engaging all of our faculties, really placing ourselves in the story. And that can become itself a focal point for the mind to sort of come back to the present. I think, too, we shouldn't forget the practice of breathing through this. So as we move into, say, the movement of oratio or prayer, and certainly once we're into that beautiful gift of contemplatio, our very breathing is the place where we encounter silence. So Hans-Urs von Balthasar said that, the mind is chatty, but the flesh is silent. And so this is one of the reasons why, contemplative traditions the world over have come to associate breathing practices, breath prayer with meditation, because it grounds us in the body. It grounds us in the silence of the flesh itself.